Module 1. How the brain works. The thinking part of the brain is called the cerebrum. The cerebrum has two halves called hemispheres. The cerebrum has 4 lobes that mirror one another on the 2 hemispheres of the brain. At the back of the brain is the occipital lobe, which is primarily responsible for managing visual information. The occipital lobe is vulnerable to any direct blow to the back or front of the head. Damage to the occipital lobe results in the alteration of visual information. Damage here may explain why people report seeing stars. It may also explain why some people become very sensitive to light after a concussion. At the back portion of each side of the brain are the parietal lobes. The parietal lobes manage information related to touch. The parietal lobes also tell us where our body is in space. Damage to the parietal lobes can be seen in individuals who become disoriented or get lost easily. The parietal lobes are vulnerable to damage on the sides of the head. On each side of the brain are the temporal lobes. The temporal lobes are primarily responsible for language. A direct blow to the temporal region of the head can cause focal damage. Such damage would result in difficulties with language. Our personality is based on the frontal lobes of the brain. The frontal lobes are the location for planning and organisation. Short-term memory is also located in the frontal lobes. Damage to the frontal lobes is characterised by problems with memory, slow decision-making and confusion. The frontal lobes are by far the most vulnerable to injury from concussion. The frontal lobes can be affected regardless of the type or direction of the trauma. The brain is made up of millions of little messenger cells called neurons. The combination of the activity of these many cells allows us to feel and think. Neurons are in constant need of energy, which is supplied by blood. This energy supply cannot be interrupted for more than a minute or 2, or the cells will die. When a neuron cell dies, it cannot be replaced. Our image of the brain is one of a solid organ located in the skull. Since most of us don't have the chance to see a living brain, we don't realise that the brain is more like a liquid than a solid. In fact, the brain is the consistency of poorly set jelly. It is the liquid nature of the brain that causes the brain to move from side to side or back to front when the head is traumatised. It is the movement of the brain inside the skull that causes concussion.